Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of sewing my summer wardrobe. This time around ended up being mostly thrift flips, more or less just altering pre-existing items into something new. So I thought the easiest thing to start with would be this long lace skirt that I thrifted and had already removed the lining for a previous project. I wanted to turn it into some kind of layering piece or cover-up. It was a couple sizes too big and had some major rips in the fabric near the top, so I started by cutting away the elastic waistband and trimming off the top few inches of the material. I then opened up the side seam, essentially leaving me with a giant rectangle of black lace to work with. I serged the top and side edges, then finished the side edges by folding them under, and finished the top edge by creating a small pocket to string a long piece of ribbon through. I know this is kind of a really random thing to make, but I think it will be really versatile as either a swimsuit cover-up or a layering piece to add texture to an outfit, or when layering skirts for the Renfaire. It can even stand in as a sort of cape. Maybe. Although probably not. Now onto something a bit more difficult. I made this drawstring backpack almost 6 years ago, but have never really needed it, so now I want to try repurposing the fabric into a funky little top for the summer. I keep envisioning it in my mind as some kind of asymmetrical one-shoulder top. After separating the fabric, I used another tank top that fits well to guesstimate the shape I would need, keeping in mind that my reference tank top was a much stretchier fabric. I cut my pieces a bit bigger than I thought I would need to, so that I could pin them together and test the fit before trimming away more. I stitched together the sides, then trimmed off the excess fabric at the bottom and finished the hem with a zigzag stitch. Then for the singular armhole and the top opening, I used the wee bit of remaining scrap fabric that I had to create a sort of bias tape. Although I wasn't really able to cut my strips of fabric on the bias since there was so little of it left, so I guess it's just tape? Anyway, I used that to finish the openings. And I did make a genuine effort to use a twin needle to secure the tape, thinking the double stitch lines would look the cleanest from the outside while still allowing the fabric to stretch, but me and the twin needle have some irreconcilable differences that we're still working out, and this was not the project on which they will be resolved. Thus, I returned to the trusty, if slightly less aesthetic, zigzag stitch. And you know what? It works, so who freaking cares? Stretch fabrics are very much not my strength by a long shot, but I'm so pleased with how this came out. I can't wait to get really weird tan lines when I wear it on vacation. I then wanted to alter this long sleeve blouse into something similar to this tank top that I've been thinking about ever since last summer, but I waited too long to buy it, and it's long since been out of stock, so maybe I can make my own version. After removing the sleeves, I trimmed away more fabric to take a few inches off the bottom of the hem, bring in the armholes at the tops of the shoulder, and open up the neckline at the front and the back. I finished the hem, then moved on to the tricky part, the neckline. I started by serging all around the opening, then added a small piece of elastic at the back and front to gather the fabric, creating more pronounced gathers on the back of the shirt. I also took in the sides a little bit. Using one of the sleeves I had cut off, I made a bias tape to finish the armholes that this time was actually cut on the bias. At least I believe it was. Don't quote me on that. I added a matching lace trim all around the neckline, then decided maybe I also wanted lace trim around the armholes as well. So I kind of went through the trouble of the bias tape for nothing. I could have just made a serged edge and covered it with the trim, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not upset about all of that wasted time at all. I don't know what you're talking about. The last thing to add was the shirring at the natural waistline. I added 4 rows to create the gathered look. After thinking about this top that I regret not buying for over a year, I'm so pleased to have my own version to add to my wardrobe. This is definitely my favorite thing that I made for this video. I am considering taking up the hem another inch or 2, but that can be a problem for future me. I had just enough time for one more quick, or what I thought would be quick, alteration, so I decided to tackle this flowy dress/cover-up thing that's a bit too short and not currently functional as an actual cover-up because of that. I thought I would try adding a second tier underneath the existing handkerchief hem skirt, so I used this semi-sheer curtain panel from my stash that was the closest color match I had on hand. I trimmed away the folded over edges of the curtain, then cut it into a rough square and cut out a hole for the waist, which you can't really see, because I'm a brilliant filmmaker and decided to show you a close-up of my scalp instead. I know that that's the riveting, spicy content you're really here for. I pinned the top of the new skirt to the seam allowance of the existing garment, then stitched this onto the bodice along the inside. I then finished the hem of the new layer with a rolled hem to match the top skirt layer, and I hated it. Yeah, that top layer just looks so awkward. I was so unsatisfied with it, so I had to redo it. I carefully unpicked the new skirt layer from the cover-up, which took forever since the fabric is so flimsy. Then I cut apart the bodice and the skirt of the cover-up, keeping only the embroidered bodice. I attached my new skirt piece to the embroidered bodice with right sides together, creating a couple pleats where there was too much fabric in the skirt, and finally was content with the outcome, since all I really wanted to save of the original garment was that embroidered top. I didn't mean to create 2 swim cover-ups this time around, but since I previously had none, I guess it works out just fine. I've now got 2 different styles to choose from depending on how I'm feeling. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a daisy emoji down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to hang out again next time, and I'll see ya when I see ya.